So welcome. Thank you for joining this short webinar about the Responsible Finance and Investment Foundation's Global Virtual Innovation Hub program with HSBC, the Responsible Finance FinTech Program. I'll just introduce myself. I'm the CEO of the RFI Foundation, and the RFI Foundation has been working to promote responsible finance in Islamic finance and Islamic markets. And we've been running now 4 previous cohorts of the GVI Hub. And I'll just give a quick minute for Sylvia to introduce herself.
Hi, thank you everyone for joining. I'm Sylvia Kezengwa, the RFI GVI Hub coordinator.
So RFI Foundation is the first nonprofit that's principally dedicated to connecting responsible finance and Islamic finance. And we've been working as a catalyst to promote action by financial institutions to address environmental, social, and governance issues towards an equitable, inclusive, and sustainable future. RFI was founded in 2015, and we've been running the GVI Hub program since 2021. As I mentioned, this is the fifth cohort. And there's been quite a bit of development in the broader fintech ecosystem around ESG. One article from the World Economic Forum that came out last year had pointed out that I think it was really important on the importance of ESG in venture capital and in startups. Is that retrofitting a company's culture to solve for ESG issues is much harder compared to embedding it in the company's DNA from the beginning. And we've seen that difficulty in the macro financial sector as they've tried to bring ESG into operations that were designed before ESG became commonplace. This has only increased recently. There's been organizations set up like Venture ESG. If you in the lower left, the article in the Harvard Business Review is about how VCs set ESG goals. The UN Principles for Responsible Investment has issued draft due diligence questions that let limited partners in venture capital funds, so the investors in the venture capital funds, can use as they're doing due diligence on venture capital investment funds, which then, of course, trickles down to startups as well in terms of how investor perception and investor expectation is changing. And then just this week, there was a new a net zero venture capital alliance that was launched, specifically looking at the climate impacts and how fintech is addressing it both from its own operations as well as through what it's enabling as financial intermediaries or facilitators for other financial institutions and connecting more financing. So it's the pace is accelerating in terms of increased expectation on startups, and so this program is really focused to help startups get equipped in what they need to know in what they need to know about how to apply the broad concept of ESG and responsible finance within the context of a startup that has limited time, limited capacity, limited resources to address that. We work in small cohorts with a few hours a week, so generally 1 hour to 90 minutes of group time that's synchronous, and then there'll be work to do in between sessions, and it's really important for the continuity because we do have a flow from 1 week to another to remain participating through the full 10 weeks. There's no cost to register, and it provides a really good experience in understanding the fundamentals around sustainability and ESG, and then thinking about how to apply that in the context of looking not only at the direct ESG impacts of a startup itself, but how it links into the broader financial markets, how it can start looking at impact measurement and management, some of the tools that can be used to simplify and streamline the process, and then some of the ways that startups need to, and when you have somebody who's interested in working on ESG and responsible finance within a startup, how do they build support from colleagues, from investors, from customers to make it happen? And at the end, we'll have a final presentation that a lot of this work is being driving towards, because we want to not only provide information, but provide a chance to use it and apply it and get feedback in that process. So in a little bit more detail, the four areas that we focus on. The first one is the orientation and introduction. So we want to understand the participants' profiles in terms of what their companies do, how ESG impacts it. Then we provide an introduction to get everyone at the same starting point on understanding what sustainability and environmental, social, and governance, ESG, is. Then the responsible finance specifically is focused on how fintechs as enablers, either as intermediaries themselves or as working with financial institutions, how their role is different than other types of companies, other types of SMEs, in terms of how to approach and think through the different levers of impact they have and the different impacts that they need to consider, both on how it impacts their business directly, but then also how their business affects the broader financial system, which can open up some opportunities. So it's the introduction to responsible finance, integrating ESG, environmental, social, and governance into business operations. So looking at it from what are some of the types of risks that ESG brings up? What are some of the opportunities? And if you're not familiar with the kind of idea around materiality, that's understanding how to prioritize between all the different issues you can see kind of on social media or in the news about different ESG issues that become significant and headline grabbing, that rotate very quickly, and you can't get on top of kind of everyone all at the same time. You have to figure out what are the priorities to be set for your startup's greatest needs, and then the ESG impact in your value chain. So a fintech may provide a connection to a financial institution and access to financial services, and there's direct impact of what the startup's own impact is, but then there's what is it facilitating? What is it making possible that wouldn't otherwise happen? And that leads into the idea of when you are starting to think about what are those impacts, how do you measure them? How do you manage them? What are some of the tools and resources to make this a manageable process for a startup? And then also, how do you tell the story of what you're doing so that you can gain the most out of it in terms of recognition from stakeholders, from investors, from customers, from other employees, from employees that you're looking to recruit. As ESG profile has increased across the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey, it can be a differentiator. And so then the final presentation is at the end of really talking about what are the next steps for you. Are you going to translate the knowledge that you picked up in the program into your company and take it forward beyond the end of the program? And participants that attend most or all of the sessions, there'll be a graduation we'll provide a certificate of completion of the program at the end. So the benefits from this, it's really working collaboratively with a small group of other startups that are focused on integrating ESG, understanding how it impacts their business, learning from sustainability and responsible finance experts. So it's not only me and Sylvia, but we have other members of the RFI Foundation's emissary network, which are the individual members who are working professionally and have a passionate personal interest in responsible finance, and also partners that come with experience in some of the data and tools that are useful. RIM is a sustainability management platform based in Singapore that we've worked with as an example of, they have a free platform that helps collect, manage, and report sustainability data. And so it's important as you get familiar with responsible finance, understanding how it fits into established frameworks like the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, and then others that are coming, like the International Sustainability Standards Board, ISSB, which is reporting or issuing standards, final standards in June. So that'll come into force starting in 2024. So in this program, you'll really get to learn knowledge about responsible finance and then apply it to your own business and have something you can come away with a plan to move forward beyond that. If you want to continue to be engaged after the program with RFI, we have SME memberships, we have individual memberships that are available. The membership for SMEs are discounted to $250 a year for people who complete the Responsible Finance FinTech Program. That provides the opportunity to join the RFI Emissary Network, which is a global community of people brought together by their interest in responsible finance and specifically how it impacts on Islamic markets. So markets which generally includes Middle East, North Africa, Turkey, South and Southeast Asia, but also we have emissaries from Europe, from North America. It's really a truly global network. And we have run in the past, had alumni cohorts of completion, companies that complete the Responsible FinTech Program. We'll invite them to come back about 6 months later to check in, see what are the issues that are really on their radar and have an abbreviated kind of catch-up course to see how things are going in terms of the implementation, and also kind of take input from participants in that to help shape what that short program is in terms of providing additional support. And then there's other opportunities that come with membership just from our network of opportunities for events, conferences, and other opportunities. And so that's all I have in terms of the introduction. There's a link here to the page with the application. You can email us at gvihub@rfi-foundation.org. And otherwise, I'll just open it up for questions now.